This is my full 2025 What's in the Bag built through the lens of a professional club fitter. As a club fitter, I don't just throw clubs in the bag because they're new or trendy. Every single club that I carry is there for a purpose. I did a very quick What's in the Bag a couple months ago that y'all seem to really enjoy, but I didn't really go deep into why I play what I play. The specs, the performance, and how they specifically fit my game. So today I'm breaking it all down, from driver to putter, not just what I play, but why it works. And if you're curious how a professional club fitter actually fits themselves, you're in the right place. And jumping right into it, we're gonna start with the big dog, driver. So starting off the head, I have the TaylorMade QI35 Max 9 degree. I have it lofted 2 clicks towards the lower setting from 9 degrees to 7.5, and there are a few reasons for that. First of all, I hit up on driver a bunch. So for me, too much spin is never something that I'm too worried about. But in my head, more loft equals more spin. Also, I hate seeing any loft on the driver. So 9 degrees, I can see a little bit of loft, and I really don't like seeing that when I look down at a dress. Also, with TaylorMade driver adapters, when you go lower in loft, it opens the face a little bit, and when you go higher in loft, it closes the face a little bit. For me, my miss with driver is I shut that face a little bit too early, and I go a little bit too far left. So for me, going lower in loft and opening that face a little bit allows me to set up like I'm gonna go more right, which I like. The shaft that I use is kind of an interesting story. It is the ProForce V2, the new one that they re-released. And honestly, there is no real rhyme or reason why this shaft should work better than any others for my swing. But when we got all the new equipment in from TaylorMade, Titleist, you know, all the major brands, and we were just testing them out in the bay just to see how they felt, see how they performed for us, there was something about this shaft that made me keep coming back to it. I felt like I couldn't miss with it. For some reason, I time it up really well. I know it has a stiffer tip section, which generally I like the feeling of in my shafts. But yeah, there was really no reason that this shaft should work as well as it does for my swing, but it really does, and I'm sticking with it. And I do have specific grips on all of my clubs. All of them are gripped the same, but hang tight, we will get to that eventually. Moving right on to 3-wood, I have the QI10 Tour from TaylorMade once again in my 3-wood. Forgot to mention this with driver, but the shaft is 75 gram extra stiff. So like I said, for driver, my natural shot shape is a little bit of a draw, but in my 3-wood, I just wanted an alternative off the tee that was kind of designed to do the opposite, so hit a little bit of a cut. This is a very fade biased wood head. I also have Tensei 1K black, again 75 gram extra stiff, but I have it tipped an inch, so it's gonna feel even a little bit stiffer. For me, I want my wood shafts to feel as board-like as possible, so I want to be able to hit a nice controlled cut as easily as I can. Moving right along into the newest edition of the bag, we have the GT2 7-wood. And the verdict's still out on this thing. I like it for the most part. The carry numbers I really like, but for me with a 7-wood, the last thing I want it to do is turn over. I don't want to hit a draw with a 7-wood. I don't need to hit this as far as I can. I need to hit this to a certain number because most of the time, 99% of the time when I hit this, it's into a par 5. I have the same shaft in it as I do in my 3-wood, just 10 grams heavier, so this one is 85 gram extra stiff. I also have it in the B1 setting, which for Titleist is flat, and I have a bunch of lead tape on the toe. So as you can see, I want this to be as fade biased as possible. So overall, I like it so far, but it does turn over sometimes, and I hate seeing that, especially with the 7-wood when I don't want it to do that. It's the last thing I want it to do. So I'm still playing around with it. I might tip cut this one too. I might go a little bit stiffer, so I might go like a Ventus Black 9X or something like that, but time will tell. As for now, I like it. It's definitely staying in the bag. It's just not quite perfected yet. Now moving on to irons, I actually have a brand new set coming in the mail right now as we speak. So I'll walk you through what I have now and what I'm switching into. Right now I'm playing the ZX7 Mark II irons from Srixon. I like them for the most part. You know, they feel awesome, and I think the V-Sole technology that they have is maybe one of the best pieces of technology in the entire golf industry. I think it helps with turf interaction so much. And overall, I've really liked them. I play them from my 4-iron all the way down to my pitching wedge, and I have Dynamic Gold Tour Issue X100 shafts in them. The only problem that I really had with them is that they didn't spin quite as much as I would like. My 7-iron, for example, was spinning right around 5,800 to maybe 6,000 on the high side. I want to see that closer to 65, maybe even closer to 68, 69 if possible. And there are definitely other ways to get around that, like changing your golf ball or bending your lofts a little bit weak or something like that. But the new irons that I have coming make it a lot easier to spin the ball more without having to do any of that stuff. And those new irons are the brand new 2025 Titleist T100s. I actually have a video about that whole fitting process. Make sure to go check that out after you watch this video. But it was a really neat process. We got to go through a bunch of different shaft and head combinations. It ended up being the T100s with the Project X 7.0 shafts. So for me, shaft played a big part in the irons that I picked. Naturally, I hit a draw with my iron, same thing with driver, but something that's really important to me is being able to hit a saw-off, hold-off cut. And with those Project X 7.0 shafts, I was able to hit that saw-off, hold-off cut pretty much on demand on the number that I wanted to hit it. Also for my irons, I play them standard length and I play them 2 degrees flat. I did make the ZX7s 2 degrees weak, just to hopefully raise that spin and raise that ball flight a little bit. But with the T100s, I'm just playing them 2 degrees flat. I'm not changing the lofts of them. So yeah, I can't wait until they come in. It should be about a week now. Also, be sure to let me know if you want a full review of those irons when they come in. Now moving into the wedges, I have a 50 degree and a 56 degree that's bent to a 55 degree, and those are RTX 6s from Cleveland. Then I have a 60 degree that's the new RTZ from Cleveland. Shaft-wise, I go a little bit softer in my wedges. I go from X100s to S400s, so still the same weight, but a little bit softer, which I like. You know, personally, I like the feel of that. You might be different. I just know that I'm never gonna swing my 60 degree full, so I don't need it to feel like my 7-iron shaft. I go mid bounce, so 10 degrees in the 50 and the 55, and then in the 60 degree, I go low bounce. So for the RTZ, that's 6 degrees. And I've said this before in other videos, with wedges, it doesn't matter quite as much what head you play. They're all gonna perform really, really well in today's day and age. It just comes down to what you like the look of and what you're gonna be most confident in. So for me, I love the look of the milling on the outside of the wedge. I've said that before in other videos as well, but it still holds true, and that's why I play them. And last but not least, we have putter, which for me is a counterbalance spider. Now, like a lot of players, the putter has been my most frequently changed club in the bag all year. Now, I started out with this, which was my Toulon San Diego. That was home base for the longest time. I used it for the past probably 2 years. Then I switched to a lab. I got the DF2, which is the big ugly one. I liked it for the most part. I never felt more confident from 12 feet and in with that putter, just as far as starting putts online. But when I got out on faster, better manicured greens, I really felt like when I got outside of maybe 15 feet, my speed control was nowhere near where I wanted it to be. Then I kind of hit a wall. I had a couple of really, really bad rounds. I didn't know really what I was doing on the putting green is what I felt like. I even went and got a broomstick spider, as you can see. Got traded into the shop I work at, and I was like, what the heck, it's better, gotta be better than what I'm doing right now. So I got it. It didn't last long. Now it's just kind of a fun talking piece. But yeah, that's where I was at putter-wise. Eventually, I was just kind of like, enough is enough. I'm gonna put myself on S.A.M PuttLab, and whatever kind of putter it puts me into is what I'm gonna use. It recommended that I use a face balance, which is what this is, mallet, which again is what this is. And I used a bunch of them. I tested out a bunch of them on S.A.M PuttLab, off S.A.M PuttLab, on the course, off the course, a bunch of different places. And this is the one that I ended up hitting best. I do claw now. I don't know, I seem to putt well with it. I haven't thought too much into the technology of putters. I just kind of went with whatever S.A.M PuttLab told me to use, and that's what I'm using. Also, side note, the TaylorMade Open Championship head cover is absolutely sick for their spiders. Go check those out if you don't have one. And then the last piece of equipment that I use every round, everybody uses every round, and I think flies under the radar is golf ball. I've experimented with a bunch of them, but it's pretty boring what I play. I play just a regular Pro V1. I did play a yellow one for a little bit. That was a fun little month experiment, but no, I just play a regular white Pro V1. But as a club fitter, that is definitely one thing that I recommend. You should find out what ball you should be playing based on your spin, based on your launch characteristics, all that stuff. The golf ball that you play matters more than you think. Ping actually has software, it's called Ballnamic, and it's from Ping, who does not make a golf ball, so you know it's not biased towards them. But they actually do golf ball fittings, so you can input your preferred feel, preferred launch, your spin numbers with driver, 7-iron, a bunch of different stuff, and it'll tell you the top 3 balls for your game. So that is my full 2025 What's in the Bag breakdown. Every club has a purpose, and I've tested a lot to land on this setup. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of an insight into how a club fitter goes about fitting themselves. If you're thinking about changing something in your setup, make sure to check out the other videos that I have on the channel. Chances are that there's something in there that might help you out. Make sure to go check those out. Also, don't forget to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you want more club breakdowns and just insider info from somebody who does this every day. Appreciate you guys sticking around, and until next time, peace out.